My dear students, today we have reserved this class for your presentations. So I will ask Mr. Muhanind Chandio to speak something on text reading text 2 reflections on the Reawakening East. So over to Mr. Muhanind. Mr. Muhanind,
Good morning everyone, my name is Muhanind Chandio and today I will be sharing key ideas on a well-known article, Reflections on the Reawakening East by Bertrand Russell, a British philosopher and mathematician, also a social critic. So Bertrand Russell begins by pointing out that in the ancient times, East was more powerful than the West. East was the leader in knowledge, power, poetry, philosophy and science. But with the rise of Greece and conquest of Alexander the Great, West got dominance and come into dominance and rule over the world. But to continue its dominance with the Roman Empire with the fall of Rome, and that was happened due to wars between Germans and Romans. And because of these wars, the West lost its dominant position and the power shifted to the East again. And the East enjoyed this power. However, with the fall of Rome, the Europe was sunk into the period of barbarism, which is known as the Dark Ages, which Europeans itself labeled as the Dark Ages. And interestingly, when Europe was in the period of barbarism, the East was enjoying, growing and developing in science, philosophy and poetry. On the other side, the Europe, especially Christian Europe, was sunk into the period of barbarism, and that was suffering. And East was growing in philosophy, in poetry, in science. But figures like Christopher Columbus and Vasco da Gama came with new Western imperialism, with new explorations and scientific techniques, and dominated on the world. And Bertrand Russell says that when he was younger, the people in the West, especially his neighbors, think that this dominance would last indefinitely. But the tide turned once again and the power shifted to the East because of the wars between Europe and other Occidentals, make enfeebled Europe unable to hold Asia under subjection anymore. And that is the moment that Bertrand Russell thinks that this is the reawakening of Asia. And this moment, according to Bertrand Russell, is the reawakening Asia. And Bertrand Russell's views on reawakening Asia is both positive and also challenging development. Bertrand Russell believes that communism, which is a virulent and most poisonous form of new Western imperialism, can totally destroy the Asian culture and the Asian communities. According to Bertrand Russell, we have to decline the culture of communism so we can grow more easily and progressively. And the most best idea that according to Bertrand Russell, Asia should acquire to move upward is of industrialism. And industrialization and mechanization are both the basic ideas that according to Bertrand Russell, if we establish industrialism, we can both progressively and we can become the top of the world. And Bertrand Russell also given us example of England and topmost countries of today like United States of America and other Russian countries that they are in the power because of their weapons to protect itself, and it is because they have more industries, they have science and technology. So Bertrand Russell advising us to maintain our environment and to bring science and technological environment in our Asia. But here, Bertrand Russell also wants us that while achieving science and technology, we have to preserve our cultural heritage. Because according to Bertrand Russell, Asia's culture is the most ancient, like in China, India and other Muslim world. So Bertrand Russell says that we have to preserve our culture, and according to Bertrand Russell, the power and the goodness is not that we have power of weapons and we can protect ourselves, but it's about enjoying life with some basic elements like art, love, poetry, philosophy and human interaction. So Bertrand Russell is saying that we have to acquire all these things if we want our country to be progressive and both progressive and growing. So Bertrand Russell in the last advising us that we have to focus on ourselves. We have not to copy the West overall, but West has some good things and some bad aspects. So we have to follow the good aspects of West so we can become more progressive and develop. So Bertrand Russell in the last advising us that we have to maintain our brotherhood very clearly and very confidently, strongly, and we have to preserve our culture. We have to step into the world of science and technology, which is more important in the modern era. Thank you.